By golly, it's amazing. It sounds like something you'd hear on the radio.
Presenting the transcription feature.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
It's 8:30 New York time. Time to wake up, America, and stump the expert.
From Hollywood, it's time now for Johnny Dollar.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
And now meet Dick Calmer as Boston Blackie.
It's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented transcribed by the makers of Rexall drug products.
And now it's time to meet the men from the ministry.
The Armed Forces Radio and Television Service presents the Bob Hope Show with Les Brown and his band of renown. And yours truly, Bill Goodwin. And now here he is, Bob Hope.
Greetings, I'm Kevin Lauderdale. We're going to start off with another episode of You Bet Your Life. Just a couple of notes. Groucho makes a brief reference to The 39 Steps. That's a 1935 British noir thriller film directed by Alfred Hitchcock. John's Other Wife was a radio soap opera, popular at the time. From June 27th, 1951, You Bet Your Life. The secret word is table.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is table. T-A-B-L-E.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America present the best of Groucho. Yes, friends, it's been a Groucho summertime. By popular demand, from your letters, from rating histories, and the acclaim of critics, the DeSoto Plymouth dealers bring you selected shows from You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. Groucho Marx has been on vacation, friends, and will return next week to begin his great new fall series of programs. Until then, it's fun and laughs tonight as we proudly present another of the best of Groucho's past shows. And here he is, the one, the only...
That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, here I am again at the end of another season, and tonight I've got $2,000 for one of our couples. Who's first to try for the $2,000?
We invited some WAFs to the program tonight, and also some young men who work in hobby shops. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Hilda Troop and Norbert Lally. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Hilda Troop, you're the sergeant, huh?
Yes, sir.
You're a mighty attractive sergeant there.
Thank you, sir.
Pretty blue eyes, or is that just a reflection of the uniform?
It's just a reflection.
Oh. What color are your eyes, actually?
It depends upon what I'm wearing.
Well, let's say when you get up in the morning. Where are you from, Sarge?
I was born in Bar Harbor, Maine.
Bar Harbor?
Yes, sir.
Say, you're a long ways from home, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Little did our parents suspect that their little pink bundle of joy would grow up to be a sergeant. You're a very attractive sergeant. You say you're a WAF?
Yes, sir.
Well, kiddo, you know me. I'll do anything for a WAF. Huh? What is a WAF?
WAF stands for Women's Air Force.
Mm-hmm. Norbert Lally?
Yes.
That's a kind of a strange name, isn't it? What kind of a name is that?
Oh, I think it's a good name.
Oh, I'm not... there's no reflection on the quality of the name. I just wondered what the derivation was.
Oh, I don't know. I think my folks named me after someone they knew.
Probably your father, eh? And where are you from, Norbert?
I'm from a hobby shop.
Well, I'm happy to know you. Where are you from?
Glendale. We live there now. I was born in Los Angeles here.
How old are you?
20.
20, huh? Which hobby shop are you from?
Finley's Hobby Crafts. I work in Finley's Hobby Crafts in Glendale.
You work in a hobby shop? I thought a hobby shop was only for hobbies.
Well, it's other people's hobby, but it's my work.
Do you have any idea what he's talking about, Hilda?
Certainly.
Ganging up on me, eh? I can't keep calling a pretty girl a sergeant. I'll just call you, do you have a nickname?
My friends call me Mopsy.
Mopsy, huh?
Yes, sir.
I like that much better. But if somebody had told General Grant 100 years ago that a sergeant was named Mopsy, he'd have swallowed his cigar. That's a very attractive uniform, Mop. I'll call you Mop, huh? Don't you may clean up on the show tonight. Do they call you Mop?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Well, that's not very original on my part, is it?
No, sir.
Are you required to wear your uniform all the time?
No, sir. We can take it off when we're off duty.
I see. The audience is beating me to it here. Well, I'll try it anyhow. When do you go off duty? I'm the anticlimactic comic. Have you figured out what you do yet, Norbert?
Oh, yes, I work in a hobby shop.
Still stuck with the same old story, eh? Well, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, you know. Do you know that?
Oh, yes, I've heard it before.
Yeah. Are you married?
No.
Did you say no?
Yes.
First you say no, and then you say yes. Which is it? Make up your mind.
I'm not married.
No hobbies at all, eh? How about you, Mopsy? Are you married?
No, sir.
How old are you?
21, sir.
21. Why aren't you married? A pretty Air Force girl like you?
Well, in the Air Force, it's a lot of trouble to get married, and it's not worth it.
It's not worth it in what way? What do you mean?
Well, before you
mean
can...
financially?
No, but before you can get married, you have to know the boy 6 months. And then you have to get the permission of your CO. And I have 2
Why,
COs.
does he want to marry you too?
No. He just has to approve. Only I have 2 COs.
The CO has to approve the boy that you marry?
Approve of... Yes, they usually interview you and ask you how long you've known him and if he can support you in the style to which you're accustomed.
Well, what style are you accustomed to? Maybe we can work out a deal here. Could you support a husband who spends all his time with hobbies, Mop?
Yes, sir.
What kind of a job do you have?
I do secretarial work.
Oh, well, and you take dictation from a colonel. Do you have to salute before you sit on his lap?
I don't sit on his lap.
Oh, I forgot, you're a sergeant. He sits on your lap, You drill in the Air Force like the WACs do, Hilda?
Yes, sir.
What are some of the drills you learned?
Oh, forward march, the rear march, the right flank, right oblique, left oblique, with the left flank arch to the rear march and halt.
Do you know how to present arms?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll test you. Present arms!
I don't have any arms.
You don't have any arms?
No, sir.
That's too bad. Here. You can use mine, huh? Nothing can stop the Army Air Force. Well, you make an interesting and romantic couple, and after talking to both of you, I've decided to join the Women's Air Force just as a hobby. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $2,000 question. But right now, here's something I want you to pay attention to.
Friends, there's no doubt about it. When you decide to buy a new car, there are a lot of facts you should have. That's why your DeSoto Plymouth dealer is happy to invite you on the famous 5-mile trial. That's his way of giving you the facts, of proving that DeSoto is your best car value. Once you drive a DeSoto Fire Dome 8, you'll be thrilled with the surging power of the mighty new DeSoto Fire Dome 160 horsepower engine. Delighted by the Fire Dome engine's instant acceleration, its great reserves of power, and its unsurpassed smoothness. When you drive either the Fire Dome 8 or the Powermaster 6, you'll marvel at the wonderful ease of DeSoto's full power steering. Full power steering that takes all the effort out of steering and parking. Lets you turn the wheel with just one finger, even when the car is standing still. You'll appreciate the safety you get with safety rim wheels and electric windshield wipers. Yes, for power, for beauty, and real safety, DeSoto is the greatest car value on the road. Stop in at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers tomorrow and make the 5-mile trial. in either the mighty DeSoto Fire Dome 8 or the famous DeSoto Power Master 6. Once you do, you'll decide on DeSoto. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the low-priced car most like high-priced cars.
All right, now let's see how you work together as a team. George Fenneman?
Yes, sir.
Is that right, Fenneman?
That's right.
Where are you from? Would you explain the rules to
All right.
these young kids?
You bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $2,000 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show.
All right, here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You select the sporting terms.
Yes, sir.
Now, here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
19.
19? What is it called in bowling when you knock all the pins down with one throw?
Strike.
A strike is right.
Well, you're off to a great start. You have $39.
Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 39 steps will you bet on your second question?
38.
Now, what is it called in golf when a player scores 1 under par on a hole?
It's a birdie.
Birdie is right.
You now have $77.
All right, here's your third question. How much will you bet?
70. Okay, 76.
Spare to 76. What is it called in football when the offensive team boots one through the uprights for 3 points?
Field goal.
A field goal is right.
You're really up there now. You have $153.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much will you bet?
100.
Okay.
100.
All right. Polo is divided into 6 periods.
Oh.
What are these periods called?
Chuckers.
Chuckers is right.
By the way, you wind up with $253.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Just before we went on the air, we selected a housewife and an advertising man from our studio audience. And here they are, Mrs. Pearl Gaskins and Mr. Edison Ostrom. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Mrs. Pearl Gaskins. What's a pearl gaskin? Isn't that something you wear around your neck?
No, that's my name.
Well, Pearl, I'd say you're a jewel in any case. And I'd say that even if your name was Herman. Where are you from, Pearl? Oyster Bay?
Oklahoma.
And Edison Ostrom?
That's right.
Is that something you find with a Geiger counter?
No.
How did you get a name like Edison?
Well, it's quite a long story. My grandfather didn't have a son, you see.
Your grandfather didn't have a son?
No.
Well, I'm baffled already.
The reason for that is I was named after my aunt. My grandfather had a daughter, you see, and
You
I
mean
was
your
named
aunt
after
was
her.
your father?
No, not that simple. No, my grandfather and Thomas Edison were boyhood friends, and he told him that he would name his first child after him, and it turned out to be a girl, so he named her Evelyn Edison, and I was named after my aunt. Very simple.
It's too bad your father didn't go around with Madame Curie. What sort of work do you do, Eddie? Eddie,
well,
I'll call you Eddie, huh?
That's good. Well, I'm an artist in charge of point-of-purchase advertising for the Western Auto Supply.
And where you must be from Orange, New Jersey, huh? Edison?
No, I'm from Petersburg, Illinois. I was born there.
You double-crossed Edison, huh? And Mrs. Gaskins, are you sure you're not something that goes under the cylinder head of an automobile?
I think you're thinking of a gasket.
A gasket? No, that's what they bury you in. Huh? I'll just call you Pearl, huh? And your mother, I'll call Mother of Pearl.
Thank you.
Now, what does your husband do, Pearl?
He is a spotter at the New Method Cleaners.
Oh. You mean he puts spots in the clothing?
No, he takes them out of the clothing, out of wool clothing.
Could he take a spot out of my tie?
Is it wool?
No, it's gravy. Could you tell us how your husband removes spots from clothing?
Well, he has a steam gun, and he squirts the steam gun onto the spot, wets it a little bit, and then he takes a little spatula, metal spatula.
A what?
A little metal spatula, and he works this chemical into the dirty spot until it
And he
loosens.
says, out damn spot.
Well, I hope not.
I hope not, too. And that's all there is to it? Then you married him?
Oh, he was my brother before I married him.
I beg your pardon. What? This fellow's father was his aunt, and this woman's husband is her brother. Huh? Now, how did you meet Mr. Gasket? You say he's your brother?
Yes, my mother introduced me to him.
He was going with your mother at the time, and you swiped him?
No, my mother married this man.
And then he rubbed your mother out. Huh? How did your mother happen to know him?
She married his father. My mother had 2 daughters, and then this man had a son. And I, finally, after 5 years, married the son.
And now you're married to your brother? Huh?
Yes.
It sounds like the perfect marriage. No mother-in-law. Of course, you have 3 fathers, but that doesn't make it right. Now, you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You beat our other 2 couples, you'll get a chance at the $2,000 question. I can't tell you how much the first couple won, but George is going to remind our listeners.
The Waff and the man from the hobby shop won $253.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected Spanish words in common usage. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
$15.
15.
All right. What is the afternoon nap called? It starts with the letter S.
It's a siesta.
Siesta is right.
Well, you're on your way. You have $35.
Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. Now, how much of the $35 will you bet on your second question?
30.
What do you call the broad-brimmed hat worn in the West? It starts with the letter S.
Sombrero.
Sombrero is right.
Doing very well. You have $65.
And here's your third question. How much of the 65 you're going to go for?
$60.
What do you call the terrace or courtyard used for outdoor living? It starts with the letter P.
A patio.
Patio is right.
You now have $125.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 125 you going to try?
120.
120. A gay outdoor festival or party is called what? It starts with the letter F.
A fiesta.
Yes.
Fiesta is right. Put it back, kid.
And you wind up with $245.
Thanks from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Just before we went on the air, Groucho, we asked for young couples who have recently become parents. And here's the couple selected by our judges, Mr. and Mrs. John Bonner. Folks, come in here and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, youngsters, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Mr. and Mrs. John Bonner, you're new parents, eh? John, how old are you?
24.
24. And Mrs. Bonner, what shall I call you?
Betty.
Betty? Good. You can call me anytime after 7. How old are you, Betty?
23.
23. And John, where are you from?
I'm from Houston.
Houston? Where's that?
It's in Texas.
Where's that? Why didn't you say Houston, Texas? Are you ashamed of Texas?
No, I'm proud of it.
In other words, a Texan takes off his hat to nobody. Is that it?
That's right.
And how do you get your hair cut? That's an old joke, but after all, I'm not a kid anymore. How long have you been married, John?
Just a little over 2 years.
And you, Betty?
Just a little over 2 years.
Well, there's nothing for the gossip columns in that answer. You're practically newlyweds. Betty, you two were selected as new parents. Now, just how new are you?
7 weeks.
It's nothing. It could have been 6 weeks, you know. It's pretty new, Betty. What did you name your new baby?
Barbara Allison, John Franklin, and Mary Elizabeth.
Well, that's certainly a strange name for a baby. Wait a minute. Did you have triplets?
Yes, 2 girls and a boy.
Betty, that's wonderful news, and my heartiest congratulations, and I want to apologize to the state of Texas.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. I'm just an innocent bystander. John, congratulations to you, too.
Thank you.
President Truman said production should be triple this year, and I must say you were paid off. Where did all this take place, John?
At Huntington Hospital in Pasadena.
I see. You may be from Texas, but remember, you had to come to California to hit the jackpot. John, did you faint when the nurse came out of the delivery room and said, it's a girl, it's a boy, it's a girl?
No. I was expecting triplets.
You were expecting triplets? Yeah. You say you were expecting triplets? And your wife certainly must have been surprised. What did you do when you first found out about the triplets? Were you excited, Betty?
Well, I wasn't too surprised. I was sitting in the doctor's office waiting to hear from my x-rays. I'd been x-rayed for twins. And I was sitting and waiting, and I heard the doctor say, you see, here's a head, and here's a head, and here's 3 heads.
And you figured 3 heads are better than one, is that right? Now, how did you break the news to John Bunyan here?
Well, I couldn't say a word. I just held up 3 fingers.
And then John went out and poured himself 3 fingers of Old Stag, eh? Old Stag. Hey, that's me, Old Stag. That's me. John, what sort of work do you do?
I'm a graduate student in chemical engineering at Caltech.
Well, perhaps that explains it. John, what were your family's reactions to the triplets? For example, what did your father say?
Well, we called him up to tell him, and there was about a minute's dead silence on the other end of the line. Then he said, well, that's what you deserve for studying so much mathematics.
Well, getting back to the baby's birth, what question do people ask you the most, John?
Well, usually they
In addition to the routine questions.
Usually they ask how much they weighed and how far apart they were born.
Mm-hmm. Well, those are good questions. What do you tell them?
Well, I tell them that they weighed 11 pounds and 15 ounces combined, and that they weren't born far apart because they were all born in Pasadena.
Hey, you and your father get off some pretty good stuff. You better keep your eye on this fella. He's full of jokes. Although I guess this is kind of late to be telling you that.
Yeah.
This is no joke.
How far apart did the babies arrive, Betty?
Well, 9:01, 9:10, and 9:13.
Sounds like they were delivered by the Wilshire bus. What were you doing when the call came to head for the hospital? Do you remember?
Well, yes, we were watching television.
What program were you watching? Triple or Nothing? What changes have the triplets made in your life, John? I know what changes you've been making in their lives.
Well, we used to like to go places on the spur of the moment. We'd just pack our bags and go, but now we've got to plan things pretty well in advance. Life revolves around the triplets pretty much.
Mm-hmm. What sort of inventory do you have to carry for this brood?
Oh, my, it's terrific. 15 dozen diapers, and we have 2 dozen bottles. We prepare a gallon of formula every day.
Well, who wakes up to feed the babies at night, Betty?
Well, we take turns, and if...
You mean you and the babies take turns?
No, John and I take turns. And
oh, you're John's other wife, in other words.
If just one baby wakes up, then one of us. And if 2 of them, well, we both have to get up. And if all 3 babies wake up at the same
time... You send for the fire department, I suppose.
Well, one just has to wait.
Well, suppose 4 wake up. Do you demand a recount?
I think so.
Suppose you tell us what a typical night routine is like.
Oh, my. Well, we get to bed about 11 o'clock. Then we're up about 12:30, and to bed again about 1:30. Up about 3, and then we get to bed and sleep until about 5, and then we're up again at 6:30, and...
Do you have a brass pole in the bedroom to slide down?
No. And then it goes on like that, and we usually get up for good about 8 o'clock, and then start the daily routine.
I bet you're pretty glad to get up and get some rest, eh? John, I can just picture you pacing the floor with triplets. One baby in the right arm, another baby in the left arm, and nudging the third one along like a soccer ball. Well, you're a wonderful couple, and my advice is never go back to Texas. Because down there they have too much room for expansion. Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $2,000 question. You run your $20 into more than our other couples. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is going to remind our listeners.
The WAF and the man from the hobby shop are still leading with $253.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected famous streets of the world. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
19.
19. In what city do you find Wall Street?
New York.
New York is right.
Well, you're off to a good start. You have $39.
Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. How much of the 39 will you bet on your second question?
38.
In what European city do you find the Unter den Linden?
In, Berlin? Berlin.
Berlin is right.
You now have $77.
Here's your third question. How much of the 77 are you going to go for?
76.
In what European city do you find Downing Street?
London.
London is right.
You now have $153.
Here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much will you bet?
152.
In what European city do you find the Champs-Élysées? I guess that's the way you pronounce it.
Paris.
Paris is right.
And you wind up with a grand total of $305. And that means that you get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $2,000 question.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, in just 1 minute, I'll ask the big question, but first, here's something of interest to everyone.
If the brakes of your car aren't behaving the way they should, if there's any question in your mind as to whether they're safe or not, then, before another day goes by, get a thorough check of your brakes at the place where they know your car best, your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Their master technicians, brake experts, will remove the wheels of your car and give the drums, shoes, and hydraulic system a thorough inspection. They'll adjust and equalize the brakes scientifically, repack the front wheel bearings, and, if necessary, fill the master cylinder with the correct brake fluid. As a final check, they'll test for safe, smooth, straight-line stops. It'll be an efficient, reliable job, count on that. And count on receiving fast, courteous service, too, at a fair price. When your car leaves your DeSoto Plymouth dealer's service shop, you'll know your brakes are right. You'll drive with a feeling of security. So have your brakes checked tomorrow, where you see the famous sign of better service, the friendly sign of the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
And here's the parents of the triplets, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $2,000 question.
Well, you look like the couple that were here a minute ago. All right, here we go for $2,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. Here it is. 100 years ago, the President of the United States sent a naval officer and a squadron of battleships to negotiate a treaty with the Emperor of Japan. For $2,000, tell me, who was the naval officer assigned to open the door to Asia? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Admiral Matthew Calbraith Perry.
Matthew Perry is That's all I get out of it. Give him a big hug. Here they go for another... Well, that's right. That means you can have another trio of triplets. You win $2,000. You had the right answer, so you win $2,000. What are you going to do with all that, Jack? Money.
I think we're going to invest it to start building up a fund to educate the kids with.
Well, I think that's a wonderful way to spend the money. Now, wait a minute. I got to total this up. Let's see. You just won $2,000, and how much did they win in the quiz, George?
$305 in the quiz.
That's $2,305. Say, you really cleaned up tonight. Congratulations from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You bet your life.
Thank you very much.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time when Groucho returns from his summer vacation to begin a great new fall series of You Bet Your Life. And don't miss Groucho on television, too. Also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, All dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. 2 great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, see the DeSoto Fire Dome 8 tomorrow.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Don't stick your neck out in traffic. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith, music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
Now we're going to do another great episode of Dragnet. Just want to point out to you that they have to use a payphone, which they dial with a dial to contact headquarters. And what's graham bread? Well, it's bread made from graham flour, the same stuff graham crackers were made of. Graham crackers were originally a health food product. So graham bread is what we might call today a health food product. All this was created in the 1800s by Sylvester Graham, an nutritionist and a dietary reform advocate who was trying to make the general populace healthier. From November 30th, 1950, Dragnet, the big car.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. In 4 months, 15 food markets in your city have been held up and robbed. The bandit is well-dressed, well-armed. Your job, stop him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. Because of its quality, its extra mildness, its better flavor and aroma, Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you.
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, February 12th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 9:48 p.m. when we got to room 25A, interrogation room. Have a chair, Mr. Pollard.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, what is it that you want to tell us, sir?
Well, you have a cigarette, please?
Yeah. Here you are.
Thanks. I'm a little nervous. It's never happened to me before.
What's that?
Well, Well, after I thought it over, I knew it wouldn't be any use to keep it up. I knew you'd find me.
I don't think I quite follow you.
I want to confess. That's why I came here.
Yeah?
I knew I was doing wrong. I just couldn't help myself.
What have you done?
I'm not trying to defend myself. I needed money, that's all. Wasn't anything else I could do.
Well, we still don't know what you're talking about, Pollard.
Been after me 4 months. Thought maybe you recognized me from the description. Some of the people must have seen me.
Hmm?
Those food market holdups?
You pulled those robberies by yourself?
Yeah, 15 of them. Needed the money.
Pollard, is that your true name?
That's right, yeah, Frank Pollard.
You ever been arrested before?
Drunk charge, that's all. I don't know why I went wrong. It just did.
You ever done any big time?
No.
Well, why do you want to confess?
I want to get it off my mind. I want to tell somebody. Everybody. Look, call in newspapers. I'll give them the whole story. I'll tell them everything.
How many of those markets did you hold up, Pollard?
15.
You said you needed the money, is that right? Why?
Personal reasons. Now, look, you got a light again. The smoke's out there.
Yeah. Here you are.
Yeah, thanks.
You used pretty much the same routine on all of the holdups, is that right?
Yeah, I only pulled one job a week. Figured that was the safest way. Dressed pretty well, like a salesman. Always had a briefcase with me.
Is that where you carried the gun?
Yeah. Always worked, too. I'd show up at closing time, get the manager in the back room, then pull the heist.
What kind of a gun did you use?
Service pistol. I had it from when I was in the Army.
How do you usually work it?
Well, when I got the manager alone in the back office, I'd just pull the gun and I'd say, give me the money, all of it. They knew I wasn't fooling. They'd give me the dough.
You don't seem to fit the hold-up man's description too closely. Did you wear a mask on those jobs, is that it?
Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
How about the man who worked with you? Where's he?
Wasn't anybody else, just me. Worked him alone. That's where you cops were wrong. You thought there were two of us, didn't you?
We thought so, yeah.
Pulled every job by myself. That's where I crossed you up. I knew what I was doing. I didn't need any help.
Well, how about that market out on West 7th that you held up last night? Did you pull that one alone, too?
Yeah, sure. I always work alone. Guess I had you guys going, huh?
Your story doesn't come very close. A man we're after doesn't use a service pistol. He never wears a mask, either.
What are you guys getting at? I told you I pull those robberies. I ought to know how it happened. I use a service pistol.
Did you use it in that robbery last night, the one out on West 7th?
Sure, I always use the same gun. Last night was no different.
You're wasting time, mister.
How do you mean? Look, I just want to confess.
No, sir, there wasn't any robbery last night. On further questioning, the suspect, Frank Pollard, broke down and admitted his confession was a lie. He explained that he wanted the publicity to impress a girlfriend. We had him fingerprinted and delivered him to the Georgia Street Hospital detail. He was filed on and then removed to the psychopathic ward at the county hospital for further examination and treatment. Our 4-month-old search for the market bandit went on. In the 2 weeks that followed, we tracked down more leads. They led nowhere. The real market bandit was still at large. On the night of February 25th, he hit again, this time at a supermarket out on Santa Monica Boulevard. We interviewed the manager, a Mr. Harry Talbot, in his small office at the rear of the store.
I guess I should have known better. I got the bulletin you sent out on the guy, his description, everything. I just wasn't thinking, I guess.
He came in the market just before closing time, is that right?
Yeah, a couple of minutes after 8. Looked well-dressed, had a briefcase under his arm. I fell for it like the rest of them. I thought he was a salesman.
Well, how about the man's description, sir?
About 5'11", 170 pounds, I guess. Gray suit. It's the same description you had printed up in the paper.
Mm-hmm. Was anyone else around when the man came in the door?
One of my clerks, Everett Smiley. He saw him leave and get in a car right after the robbery.
Is this clerk still around? We'd like to talk to him.
Oh, he went down the street a minute. He'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's him. Yeah?
Mr. Talbot, you remember me, Mrs. Bolton?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I'd like to ask you a favor, Mr. Talbot, as an old customer.
I'm tied up right now, ma'am. Could I see you a little later on?
I won't even come in, Mr. Talbot. You see, we're having our annual benefit whist party down at the community church. They were going to have it next Thursday, but I made them put it off another week so we could get some decent prizes.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Of course, a lot of our people are good customers of the store here, so I knew you'd be willing to give something to the prize list.
Oh, yeah.
Shall I put you down for one of the door prizes? Maybe 2 or 3 market baskets full of canned corn, peas, things like that.
Yeah, okay, Mrs. Bolton. I'll have Everett fix them up tomorrow.
Of course. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Talbot. I'll have my boy Robert pick them up tomorrow. You'll have the baskets fixed up real nice, won't you?
Yes, ma'am, I'll take care of it.
Well, thank you again. Goodbye.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye. Mr. Talbot, I wonder if you could tell us what happened after you got back here in your office with the hold-up man.
Well, it happened pretty fast. He reached into the briefcase he was carrying like he was going to get his order book, and he came up with this gun. He told me to open that safe there, but I stalled. I said I didn't know how.
I see.
That's when he started telling me what he'd do to my family, my wife, if I didn't open the safe. He knew all about us, my address, my wife's name, my kids. He said he'd get them if I didn't do what I was told.
Same M.O. Never failed him. What'd you do then, Talbot?
Well, money's not worth that much to me. I opened the safe and gave him everything. A little over $400. I still don't know how he got that information about my family.
Do you have any suspicions at all?
No, nobody I can think of.
How about the gun he had? Can you describe it?
Well, just like you have it listed in that bulletin on him. 38 revolver, blue steel, long barrel.
Mr. Talbot.
Come on in, Ev. Officers, this is my clerk, Everett Smiley. I'm sorry I forgot your name.
Friday and Romero, robbery detail. Hi.
No.
Hello there. Hey, Mr. Talbot says that you saw the hold-up man leaving the market. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. He walked right out of the store and down the street just like nothing happened. I didn't know anything was wrong till later.
Did you notice if the men got in the car?
Yeah, I did. Car was parked about halfway down the block. Another guy was driving. Motor was running.
Did you catch the license number?
No, but it was a brand new sedan. A Pontiac, I think. You shouldn't have much trouble finding it.
Without a license number?
Well, it's a brand new car. I remember the color. I couldn't forget that.
Yeah?
Bright red, just like a fire engine.
90% of the time, color identification of a car means nothing. For one thing, a getaway car can be painted in a matter of a few hours, and for another, the color of a vehicle is not listed on the registration slip. It's impossible to check a car through DMV on color alone. But in this case, we figured that we had half an exception to the rule. The car used in the robbery was new, was painted a very distinctive color. We began an immediate canvass of automobile dealers throughout the city. After a day and a half of calling and checking, we found 2 dealers who had sold 2 new cars within recent weeks with fire engine red paint jobs. We got the names and addresses of the purchasers and checked them out. One of them was a Miss Mona Taylor, an ad taker for one of the daily morning papers. I'm sorry to bother you at your work, Miss Taylor.
Oh, not at all. Most of it's over for today. What is it you want to know?
Well, we understand that you bought a new Pontiac sedan about 3 weeks ago. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. If this is about that parking ticket, why, I've already taken care of it.
No, ma'am, that's not it. We'd just like to know if you still own that car.
Well, I don't own it yet. I'm still paying on it.
Color's a bright red, is that right?
Yes, it is fire engine red. I like bright colors.
Well, does anyone else besides yourself drive the car, Miss Taylor?
Well, yes, once in a while. I lend it to my boyfriend, Al. Al Daly. I've known him for a long time. Oh, excuse me.
Sure.
Classified ads, Miss Taylor. Yes, sir. A 2-room apartment? Unfurnished? All right.
You got a smoke,
Steam,
Joe?
heat,
Yeah, just a minute. I got one.
View, Beverly Hills.
That's it, thanks.
$80. What's that? Yes, sir. Tomorrow morning's edition. Yes, $2.12 for 2 days. Could I have your name, address, and telephone number? Thank you, sir.
About this friend of yours, Miss Taylor, this Al Daly. How long have you been lending him your car?
Since he got his new salesman's job. He has to make night calls on customers out in the valley, so I let him have the car, usually about once a week.
When's the last time that he borrowed the car, miss?
2 nights ago.
From Mona Taylor, we got the address of her boyfriend, Al Daly. We located him in a rooming house on South Boulevard Avenue. He admitted he borrowed the Taylor girl's car the night before, but he denied that he drove it anywhere in the vicinity of the robbery. How about your friend, Jimmy Bray?
I don't know. I loaned him the car, that's all. He gave me $30.
Well, that's an awful lot of rental money. Why did he need a car so bad?
I don't know. Why don't you ask him?
Where's he stay?
Bartlett Hotel. 8th and Flower.
Mm-hmm.
You going over to see him now?
That's right. Why?
Well, I thought if you were going over there, you wouldn't mind taking this with you. He left it in the car when he brought it back. His briefcase.
Let's have a look.
What's the matter? What's all the fuss about a briefcase?
Joe? Mm-hmm.
What is it? Let's see.
All right, you got an answer for that, Daly?
Sure a funny place to keep a gun.
We took Al Daly downtown where he was held for questioning. We had a stakeout placed on his rooming house. We had both Daly and Bray checked through R&I. No criminal record. The briefcase and the .38 revolver were booked as evidence with the property clerk. There was no record or prints on the gun. The Taylor girl's car was impounded to be checked for fingerprints. 7 p.m., we drove out to the Bartlett Hotel on 8th and Flower. The room clerk confirmed the fact that Jimmy Bray was a registered guest at the hotel.
You want to call the office, Joe?
Yeah, all right, I'll do it.
You got change?
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, okay.
City Hall.
2511.
2511.
Robbery, Powers.
Joe Friday, John. We're out at Bray's Hotel. We're going to stake it out. He's not in yet.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
What do you mean?
The market out on 12th Street was held up a minute ago.
Yeah?
Bandit carried a briefcase.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
Buy a pack. You'll find Fatimas now cost the same. Light a Fatima.
Ah, that's different.
What a difference.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos, the finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean yellow package, carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you,
Ah, that's different.
yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
11:30 p.m. After checking Bray's room and finding nothing, Ben and I remained on stakeout at the Bartlett Hotel. The suspect failed to show up. At midnight, Young and Mackenzie came out and relieved us. We drove back to the office and got the particulars on the holdup of the 12th Street Market. The M.O. was almost exactly the same as in the other 16 robberies. The victim's description of the holdup man matched perfectly with Bray's. By noon the next day, the suspect still had not returned to his hotel. An intensive canvass of the immediate neighborhood around the Bartlett Hotel netted us nothing. Nobody remembered Bray. We checked the bars and restaurants that he was known to patronize. No one had any idea where he might be. Details at the airport, railroad stations, and bus terminals were alerted. We got out a supplementary description on our original APB. The sheriff's office was kept advised. 2 days passed. Still no sign. We questioned and re-questioned Al Daly. Either he couldn't or he wouldn't add anything to what he'd already told us about Bray. A series of stakeouts were placed at food markets in areas where Bray had staged robberies previously. A composite picture of the suspect was made up and given wide distribution throughout the city. It all went for nothing. The following Tuesday, March 4th, Bray robbed a neighborhood market in Highland Park of $150.
I had to give him the money, Sergeant. He threatened my wife and kids. Said he'd see something happen to them if I didn't open the safe.
Did you say he wore gloves, sir?
That's right. I thought it didn't jibe at first. A salesman wearing gloves like that. Didn't think about it till it was too late.
Did you notice if he was on foot or did he get away in a car?
He had a car, all right, parked down the street there. Saw it through the window. Another fellow was at the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice anything else about the car, the license number maybe?
No, I couldn't see that, but it was a coupe. I'm sure of that.
Yeah?
It was red, bright red.
There was one angle we couldn't figure. If Bray was bent on a steady career of robbery, why did he use an escape car painted the most conspicuous color possible? We checked out Mona Taylor's car again. There was no connection. The search went on. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, another month. Bray kept to his usual schedule, one robbery a week. The legwork went on, too. On March 20th, we got a call from one of Ben's informants. He told us that he'd seen a man answering Bray's description in the Venice Park amusement area down by the beach. Well, we drove down to Venice to check it out.
Pretty good crowd for a cold night.
Yeah. Where do we find this friend of yours?
See where the merry-go-round is up ahead?
Yeah?
Just beyond that. He runs one of the booths. You throw baseballs at phony milk bottles. 3 chances for a dime, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He and his wife run it. They've been out here for years. I don't know how they ever make a living at it. Hey, those hot dogs smell good, don't they?
Is that your friend's booth across the way there?
Yeah, it is.
Come on, fellas. Show the girls how you can throw a baseball. Spill the milk. How about it? We'll let the girls have a free throw. Step up and win a prize.
Looks like Maud's running the place tonight. Maud, that's his wife.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, Sergeant? Cold night, huh?
Hi, Maud. This is my partner, Joe Friday.
How are you?
Glad to know you, Joe. Guess you're looking for Scooter, huh?
Yeah, is he around?
Just down the way, Sarge. Hey, how about it, Sailor? Try your luck. 1 thin dime. Spill the milk.
Pretty good crowd tonight, Maud.
Oh, yeah, but they're not spending. Hasn't been good at all lately.
Where'd you say your husband was, ma'am?
Just down the way. Old man Hudson's out to chow. Scooter runs a merry-go-round for him while he eats.
No, thank you, Maud. We'll drop back and see you before we leave.
Right. Glad to meet you, Joe.
Yeah, glad to meet you. Goodbye.
What do you say, girls? Have the boys show you how good they can throw. Spill the milk. How about it?
Scooter, is that what you said? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, that's right. He used to run the scooter drome. You know, the little electric cars you drive around, bumpers all around them?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's do the close There he is. Scooter? Hey, Scooter!
Hi, Sarge. I've been waiting for you. Hop on.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
How you doing, Sarge? Good to see you.
Scooter, my partner, Joe Friday.
How are you?
Yeah, glad to know you, Joe. I guess we can talk here as well as any place, huh?
Sure. What's the story, Scooter?
It's like I told you on the phone. Murphy down at the Penny Arcade, he noticed the guy first. He pointed him out to me. He sure hits close to Bray's description.
Well, when did you first see him?
Oh, 2 nights ago, I wasn't so sure it was Bray the first time, and then I saw him last night. That cinched it.
I didn't hear that.
I say I saw him last night, and that cinched it.
Oh, well, when did this Murphy, was that his name? When did he first see him?
About a week ago. He's got an eagle eye for strangers who hang around. Murphy thinks the guy's staying out here someplace.
Is there any idea where?
Just a minute. No jumping around like that, son. Now you'll fall off and bang your head. Kids.
Where'd you spot this man, Scooter?
Same place Murphy did it. He's hanging around the shooting gallery down the way. The guy who runs the place is new. We don't know him well enough to ask him about it.
You mean this man who looks like Bray just hangs around the counter there?
Well, no, not exactly. You see, there's a little office to one side of the shooting gallery, and the times I seen the guy, he was either coming in or going out of there.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time you saw him, Scooter?
Huh?
I say, when's the last time you saw him?
Oh, earlier tonight, about 6:30. I think Murphy's right. The guy's holding up in there. Hold on there, girlie. Now, don't try to get off the merry-go-round till it stops. Yeah, that's the girl.
Thank you a lot, Scooter. We'll check back with you before we leave.
Yeah, okay, Sarge. I hope it helps you out. I'm glad I met you, Joe.
Right, see you later.
There's the shooting gallery down there by the bullseye, son.
Yeah, if the guy is Bray, it's funny that he hasn't been spotted before. This area is pretty well patrolled here.
Yeah.
Try your skill, fellas. 10 shots, only a quarter.
We're police officers. Like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, what about?
What's your name?
Gridley. Max Gridley.
You know anybody by the name of James Bray?
Bray?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't. Why?
How about this, Mr. Gridley? Know anybody who fits that description?
No, it doesn't mean anything to me. What's the matter, anyway?
Well, a man answering that description has been seen entering and leaving this office right next door over here. It's part of your concession, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. But I'm the only one who uses it. Somebody must have got the wrong slant.
Then you wouldn't mind if we looked it over. Routine investigation.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, all right. I'll come around and open the door for you.
All right, come on.
just a cubby hole, as you can see. Trying to use it as a storage place. Sometimes I have my lunch in here. Take a nap once in a while.
Looks pretty well lived in. All those clothes are yours, Mr. Gridley?
That's right. Why?
Hey, Mac, how about a load on this thing?
Oh, it's a customer. Excuse me a minute. Be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Over here, have a look.
This towel.
Look at the name stenciled on it.
Bartlett Hotel. 9:30 p.m. We advised the shooting gallery operator not to attempt any phone calls. Then I called the office, and Ricketts and Powers came out to help us with a stakeout on the shooting gallery and the adjoining office. Ben and I covered from the Penny Arcade directly opposite the shooting gallery. Ricketts and Powers were staked out 2 doors away at a stand that advertised handwriting analyzed, 25 cents. We waited. Ben munched on a bag of popcorn. 10:30 p.m., no sign of the suspect. 11 o'clock, still no sign.
Getting pretty cold. Everybody going home?
Yeah. You got any more of that popcorn there?
Oh, yeah, here you are. There's 2 pieces left. Very good.
Must have been. Not much in there now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can get another bag. Machine's right over there. No, turn it off. How about some peanuts?
No, thanks.
Oh, sure, there's some in there, Joe. Want some?
No.
Sure would like to see Bray show up. Hate to spend the night staked out here.
Hey, wait a minute. Look.
Huh?
The shooting gallery. The guy in the blue suit?
He's talking to the manager. He's going around the side door.
Yeah, come on.
He's going inside.
All right, hold it right there, mister.
Joe, watch it.
Ricketts, Johnny, cover the back.
All right, Joe. I'll get the door.
All right. Come on, let's hit it.
Yep. Went out the back. Come on. Yep.
Hold it.
Johnny's got him.
Yeah.
Good. Johnny, you okay?
Yeah. It's a rough one.
Let's roll him over, huh?
Yeah, all right. How about it, Joe?
Short, dark complexion, fat.
What do you think?
I don't know, but it's not Bray. Ricketts and Powers remained on stakeout at the shooting gallery while Ben and I took the suspect downtown along with the proprietor of the shooting gallery, Max Gridley. We had the man treated for cuts and bruises at Georgia Street Receiving Hospital, and then we took him to the office. He identified himself as Blake Chatfield, an unemployed salesman. After 2 hours of questioning, he broke down and admitted that he was Bray's accomplice. In each of the 18 robberies, he drove the getaway car. He said for the past month, he and Bray had been living in the office adjoining the shooting gallery. He was booked at the New City Jail on suspicion of 211 PC. Max Gridley was held for further questioning. 1:35 a.m. We checked back in at the office.
Guess I had too many hot dogs out there.
Yeah, what's the matter?
Oh, indigestion. Maybe it was the popcorn.
A couple of messages in the book. Your wife wants you to call her before you go home.
Hello, Amy. Yeah, long night, yeah. What? Loaf of graham bread. Well, I'll try. Okay, dear. Yeah, bye. Same old thing.
Yeah. I get it. Robbery Friday.
Johnny Powers, Joe.
Yeah, John. How's it going?
Jimmy Bray finally showed. We got him.
Any trouble?
No. Drove up in a bright red coupe. Couldn't miss him.
Mm-hmm. You coming in now?
Yeah, just leaving. See ya.
Right, John. Bye. Well, I picked up Bray. Bringing him in now.
Good. Sure been a long haul. Almost 5 months.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
Where am I going to get a loaf of graham bread at this time in the morning?
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. For the past few weeks, I've asked you to send me the names of dealers who are out of Fatimas. You see, the demand for Fatimas is so great, I want to make sure that all of you can buy them. So keep on writing. If you find a dealer fresh out of Fatimas, let me know, and we'll have something done about it. Write your dealer's name and address on a card and mail it to me, Jack Webb, Post Office Box 951, Hollywood 28. That's Jack Webb, Post Office Box 951, Hollywood 28. Now, a word for you, Mr. Dealer. The coming holiday season will find new thousands insisting on Fatima quality. So step up your orders for Fatima tomorrow. Get in on the increasing demand for the quality long cigarette.
James R. Bray and Blake A. Chatfield were tried and convicted on several counts of armed robbery and received sentences as prescribed by law. Max Gridley was filed on for failure to register as an ex-convict. Bray and Chatfield are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This is Bob Hope. Can we steal a second?
Chesterfield always wins first place. That milder mild tobacco never leaves an aftertaste.
So open a pack, give 'em a smell.
Then you'll smoke 'em.
Don't forget to give Crosby for Christmas. I mean the Chesterfield Christmas carton with Bing as Papa Santa Claus. See you Tuesday.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Coming up, We the People, then Screen Directors Playhouse on NBC.
That's your old-time radio fix for this week. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Be sure to subscribe to The Chronic Rift on iTunes or visit us frequently at chronicrift.com.
What a voice. What a voice. Simply means ink. A dink-a-doo. A dink-a-dee. Good night, folks. Signing off.
Mrs. Whifflepuffer loves to talk to Mrs. Hildendorfer of the fatal natal day she had her silly Willie.
Mrs. Hassan Cooper loves to talk to Mrs. Goldenwasser of her major operation when she had her twins.
But when Mother comes along, she silences the others. She accomplished something that is very rare in mothers. MGM has got a Leo, but Mama has got a trio. She is proud but says three is a crowd. Oh, we do everything alike. We look alike, we dress alike, we walk alike, we talk alike, and what is more, we hate each other very much. We hate our folks, we're sick of jokes on what an art it is to tell us apart.